Next on ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend, an overnight shooting involving El Paso police officers leaves a man in the hospital. The latest details from our round-the-clock crews. More major earthquakes rocking the Pacific Rim. The damages and death toll this morning just to our south. And this while Japan still recovering from its major magnitude events. The recovery efforts now underway as the aftershocks hopefully die down. And storm track weather, Iris.
We saw a windy Saturday. When can we expect those winds to calm down and then come back into our forecast? I'll let you know coming up.
It's all the news you need to start your Sunday, April 17th. ABC 7 Good Morning El Paso Weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. An El Paso police officer involved in a shooting overnight leaves one man in the hospital. Happened on the 7100 block of Tierra House. Several police officers responded to reports of a man threatening suicide shortly after midnight. The first two responding officers found a man outside a house. The officers were told he had threatened to shoot anyone who approached him, and when they came close to the man, he allegedly threatened the officers with a gun and made, quote, overt actions. The officers feared for their safety and they claimed to have fired their weapons, hitting the suspect. That man was taken to University Medical Center. His condition is unknown at this time, but we have been told that he is still alive. Detectives from the Crimes Against Persons and members of the shooting review team were on the scene all night. We're told that the Texas Rangers are also investigating the shooting, which is standard procedure. And we're, of course, working to get more information. We'll have the latest on air and online at KVIA.com as it becomes available. And a powerful earthquake in Ecuador has killed at least 77 people this morning. Officials say the death toll is still expected to rise as rescuers reach the sparsely populated areas of fishing ports and tourist beaches. Take a look at this video here taken while it was happening. This was the strongest earthquake to hit Ecuador in decades, with a magnitude of 7.8. The quake flattened buildings and buckled highways along the country's coast. The mayor of the town near the epicenter says, quote, "This wasn't just a house that collapsed, it was an entire town," end quote. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center says tsunami waves were possible for some coasts, but that has been largely cleared. President Rafael Correa, who is still at the Vatican after attending a papal conference, called on Ecuadorians to show strength while authorities monitor events. And in Japan, many are still without power or left missing in the debris from two powerful earthquakes. U.S. military aircraft are now assisting in efforts to speed relief supplies to communities devastated by the earthquakes that killed at least 41 people at last count. Thousands of rescue workers are searching a debris-strewn village in southern Japan for about a half dozen remaining missing people. Landslides from yesterday's magnitude 7.3 earthquake have blocked roads and destroyed bridges. About 80,000 homes didn't have electricity still this morning. Japanese media reported pardon me, that households were running without water. Now the number of people taking shelter has doubled to more than 180,000. And police have not said what sparked a road rage incident causing a man to be hit by a car. This happened in Las Cruces around 5 Saturday afternoon on Solano Drive near Poplar. Still very limited details on this time. We do know that the man hit was airlifted to UMC, but no word yet on his condition. Police tell us detectives talked to witnesses after the incident. We should update you as soon as we get more information. Getting to your storm track weather now. Let's get your first forecaster, storm tracker Iris Lopez. Good morning, Iris.
Good morning, Andrew. A good morning to you all if you're up early on this beautiful Sunday morning. Well, I have some good news for you. Those winds, they're not going to be as crazy as they were yesterday. I know when I woke up early this morning, my hair was already a mess, but let's see exactly how cool it is out there. It is a bit chilly. 47 current temperatures for El Paso, 48 Las Cruces, pretty much upper 40s all across the board with the exception of good old Ruidoso, 36 as your current temperatures. Let's see those winds so you can see that I'm not lying. You can see calm winds for Las Cruces and El Paso as well, and pretty much all across the board with the exception of course, Guadalupe Pass at 12 miles per hour. Your Sunday afternoon picnic forecast. Why not go out there and have a picnic? It is going to be a bit cooler than it was yesterday, but noon 66 is what you can expect. The high of the day will be at 72. Now coming up, this is what I'm going to let you know this morning. Of course, a bit chillier than what we experienced yesterday morning. This afternoon, though, as I mentioned, a nice afternoon. Plus, it is the last day for Sun City Fair. I'll let you know what you can expect throughout the afternoon and evening coming up. Andrew?
Thanks, Iris. Check back in just a bit. So how are you starting this Sunday morning off? You could start it by doing something that hasn't been possible to be done in 3 years. El Pasoans all across the area are now able to walk through El Paso's historic downtown plaza once again. Yesterday marked the grand reopening of San Jacinto Plaza, a historic day for the city. And it was all started off with a dedication ceremony and then celebrations going on throughout the day and into the evening. City leaders also joined with El Pasoans in enjoying the sights and sound of the newly finished renovated plaza. ABC7's Jerry Nájera has the story.
You know, the San Jacinto Plaza became the city's official plaza 113 years ago in 1903. And while it took a few years to renovate, people happily got reacquainted with Los Lagartos. There was music, there was food, there was ping pong, and of course, the famous Lagartos. Some were skeptical of the change.
I was a little upset when I heard they were going to renovate it because I thought it was fine the way it was, and I didn't want them to get rid of any of the historical value.
But once they saw the iconic alligators, flashy signs, chess tables, and splash pad, El Pasoans already had their favorite spot.
The alligator fountain.
The Lagartos.
The canopy.
The alligator. The ping pong tables. I wasn't expecting that. I think that's pretty cool.
It was a long time coming. Mayor Oscar Leeser apologized to the crowd about the delay during the unveiling.
We do owe you an apology for being late. We were late. It was not done in the timely manner that we would have wished to done.
But it's done, and Leeser says now that the gates and orange bells are gone, all of El Paso can enjoy the first-class park.
For the quality and the finished product is incredible.
Residents seem to agree with him too, saying the wait was well worth it, giving it an overwhelming thumbs up.
Yeah, we have a fantastic downtown and everything that's happening here.
The vibe, you could feel it. People laying down and enjoying the whole weather.
You could just see and feel a different atmosphere.
A final price tag has not yet been released. It's definitely running into the millions. On a lighter note, people are already looking forward to using the plaza for the Neon Desert Music Festival. Reporting for Good Morning El Paso Weekend, I'm Jerry Nájera.
Tomorrow, NMSU will learn about the status about when or if there's a new basketball coach already lined out for next season. Yesterday, ABC7 found out that Marvin Menzies is now the head coach at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Chris Beard originally got the head coaching job with UNLV, but he left the program just 3 weeks after being hired and will instead coach at Texas Tech. So now Menzies will be with UNLV through at least the 2018-2019 season, something that seemed inevitable at this point.
I wish Marvin, I want to say congratulations to him. I think UNLV is a tremendous program. You know, I know that Marvin has been courted by several top-notch schools.
Menzies coached at NMSU for 9 seasons and was just 2 wins shy of having a total of 200, and was also having 5 WAC tournament titles to his name and 5 NCAA tournament appearances. A time to heal and honor. If you haven't had a chance to see the wall that heals at Fort Bliss National Cemetery, today is your last day. In the past week, hundreds have visited a replica of the Vietnam War Memorial on display at the cemetery. The memorial has been displayed all across the U.S. and arrived in El Paso on Wednesday. The wall is a half-scale of the actual memorial in Washington, D.C. It bears the name of more than 58,000 servicemen that died in the Vietnam War. The wall was open 24 hours for visitors for the past 4 days. Veterans we spoke with there say visiting the memorial along with other veterans is also a healing process for them.
Oh, it just, the first thing you do is cry. And I feel, you know, they're true heroes. So it's good therapy, of course, to talk to other service members. Hey, how you doing? And share stories and memories.
And again, today is the last day the memorial is in El Paso. It will be on display until 4 this afternoon. Now, of course, don't forget to pick up your copy of this week's El Paso Ink. In it and only El Paso Ink, you'll find what's behind plans for a 22-story building in West El Paso, possibly one of the city's biggest. They have details on the proposed hotel and apartment tower. Also find out about some really big ideas for El Paso, like new light for an old car lot and building a park over I-10. And why local cab companies say deregulating the vehicle for hire business could make room for fraud and abuse. El Paso Ink is online at KVIA.com and available for home and business delivery. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen, 534-4422, to subscribe. We'll take a step outside here in the borderland, and it definitely seems like spring has sprung. But coming up on Good Morning El Paso Weekend, people on other parts of the country aren't so sure. Winter storms and wild weather slamming states this weekend. And we're taking a live look outside at traffic this morning. If we can, I-10 and Yarborough. There's a shutdown with TxDOT crews working on maintenance potholes in between this area and McRae. So watch out for this morning, going on scheduled until 3 p.m. this afternoon. In Storm Track weather, Iris.
I am helping you plan your Sunday accordingly, what you can expect for your afternoon and your evening as well coming up.
Watching ABC 7, where news comes first.